my love for you. The pure is white on the deepest blue, is my love for you.
Sharon, what was the inspiration behind the song?
It was the lovely event of becoming a nana. So I was very fortunate. In June of last year, my eldest daughter had her first baby with her lovely husband Adriano. And I just find myself often when a significant event happens, I just find a song comes, there's something there. And so it was Isabel. Isabel's the granddaughter, and it was she that was very much the inspiration for the song. So it's a lullaby really for her.
Yeah. Did you start writing it before she was born or after?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question. I think it was after. Yeah, it's after she was born. It's interesting, isn't it? It's almost like it's when they're real. So even though I've been fortunate to have two of my own, it's the pregnancy is one thing, and I suppose I was very much focused on my daughter during the pregnancy, making she was all right. And I think it was once Isabel was born, I was like, oh wow, this is just there were a lot of emotions around it, as often is the case when these events happen, and I think that was the inspiration really. I was sat in the garden, and I was just, these words and lyrics came, and that was the start of it, I think.
What made you decide to donate the proceeds from the song to charity?
I think again, it was a reminder. Having had two of my own, as I mentioned before, I think it was a reminder to me how vulnerable you are at that point. And it's a crazy time for any mum or any parent when they first had their baby, but when you find yourself in a position where you just can't provide those things, those basic things that your baby needs, I just can't imagine how hard that must be. And so I was aware of the charity, and I just thought, wouldn't it be lovely to use Isabel's lullaby in such a beautiful way to try and support other mums with their new babies.
Imagine being a mum with a new baby, perhaps no family around to support you, and perhaps no partner to support you either. Perhaps worrying about being able to put nappies onto your baby or giving them a safe space to sleep. Here at Baby Basics, we're all about mums, and we want to support families across Sheffield and the UK to be able to provide for what they need for their new baby. We want to support community groups and churches to meet the needs of vulnerable women in their communities through working with their midwives and health visitors. Baby Basics was established to meet the needs of these vulnerable women and to provide a safe space for those babies to sleep, and clothing and materials for everything that mum would need to provide for that baby.
Following my chat with Sharon and seeing the Baby Basics video, I wanted to learn more about the charity. So I talked to Kat Ross, the CEO of Baby Basics, to find out how they help support families and the work they do.
What we've seen during COVID is all those families who were just about coping now aren't, and are struggling to meet the needs of their families. And I think we've seen that across the nation in the uptake in the use of food banks, but the uptake in the use of baby banks has been much the same. So for our Baby Basics centres across the UK, we've seen a 166% increase in demand compared to last year. And for our inaugural centre in Sheffield, which is our biggest and our busiest centre, we've seen a 468% increase in demand. So it's been an extremely busy time during COVID, but I am exceptionally proud of all our Baby Basics centres, of which most are volunteer-led. And volunteer run, who've kept going the whole way through COVID in one form or another. And in 2020, we supported over 20,000 children.
Wow. And are those single parent families, or are they multi-parent families, or what?
So it's all a real mix who are just in economic poverty, and they may be working families who just aren't able to bring enough in, even pre-COVID. And since COVID has hit, there is just far more families who are unable to work, who may have been in the hospitality industry on 0 hours contracts and just have no work now. So we're hearing more and more heartbreaking stories of families that are just really struggling, and this may be the first time that they've ever had to access a service like ours.
I was really surprised by both the number of families Baby Basics have helped and the amount of packages they have supplied. Let's look at those numbers again. The children supported 20,376, 3,022 starter packs for mums and newborns, and the list goes on.
The way that we work is we work through professional referral only. So we don't directly meet the families that we support. And the reason that we do that is, one, we trust the judgment of those professionals who refer to us, and they could be professionals in the health and social care sector, midwives, health visitors, social workers, but also other charities like food banks and domestic violence charities. So they do the judgment of whether somebody needs support, which means we don't have to do any sort of means testing. If a family is referred to us, they get our support. It also means that there is no need for a family to have to share their story again with us, or share their story with somebody else. That professional that's working with them already knows their needs. So it avoids kind of any trauma related to that for the family, and takes away those feelings of guilt and shame that they're having to access. For some families, that's what they feel, that they feel guilty about the fact they're having to access our service.
But things have changed slightly recently. From you had quite an important visitor.
We did. So we've been very, very lucky to be part of an initiative with the Duchess of Cambridge.
The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge tweeted, "The Duchess of Cambridge has brought together 19 British brands and retailers to donate over 10,000 new items to more than 40 baby banks across the UK."
I'd love to hear from you as well what you think, that you hear so often that actually it's very hard for parents and families and mums to reach out for support because of the stigma around actually reaching out and saying, actually, I find it really hard and I'm really struggling.
The Duchess also chatted with some of the incredible women who have started baby banks around the UK. All are staffed by volunteers and rely on public donations. Catherine's push to get national retailers involved in the whole baby bank initiative has been a major lockdown project.
And she brought together 19 British brands as part of her Supporting Baby Banks work. And those donations from the British brands have gone to ourselves at Baby Basics and two other baby bank organisations, Little Village and Abba Necessities. And from Baby Basics HQ in Sheffield, we coordinate all of that distribution between the three organisations. So she brought in 19 British brands, and following that launch back in August, we've had more corporate organisations come on board. So we have about 25 brands who now donate to us on a regular basis.
White or blue is my love for you.
How did you meet Sharon?
So my story with Sharon goes back, almost 20 years now. We were at church together in Sheffield with her late husband Martin, and we actually worked together to set up another charity which supports children in Rwanda, which I also run in my spare time still as well. We've had an incredible journey together as friends. We were very excited when Sharon became a grandmother this year, and I've known her daughter Emily for a long time. So the fact that this was written as a lullaby just fit perfectly with us as an organisation, and we really love the song. And our hope is once restrictions lift a bit, Sharon can actually come over to our centre in Sheffield and do a little performance for our volunteers here, which would be wonderful.
The number of families supported by Baby Basics has increased 166% during 2020 and the pandemic. How can you help? Well, of course, you can buy Sharon's Lullaby, and there are two ways you can do that. You can download it from sharongarner.bandcamp.com, or you can get the CD direct from Sharon at Sharon Garner Music on Facebook. But you can also donate direct to Baby Basics via their website, which is www.babybasics.org.uk. Go to the Get Involved page, and there it will explain how you can give time, give supplies, or give financially. I hope you've enjoyed this programme and want to help.